Everybody, this is TDI guy. And no, this is not a TDI. This is my wife's 2013 Chevy Sonic. I think it's got a 1.8 liter, I believe. Just a standard 4-cylinder. But there's lessons to be learned here, and maybe this could help somebody out. So, the problem with this car is we've had the low pressure oil light has come on the dash and it'll ding at you, and we've been having this issue for almost about a month now. But there's no low oil pressure. It's been just like a glitch, and it's been hard to track down what the culprit is, but I figured out what it is today. And it actually started when my wife was going to take it in to have the oil changed, where she takes it in and has it serviced at, is when the first time that light came on and started dinging at her. Luckily it wasn't low oil pressure, otherwise the motor wouldn't be any good. But anyways, so this past winter I replaced the thermostat housing because it had a check engine light and it said that the thermostat was bad. There's two temperature sensors, one before the thermostat and one after, and there must have been a discrepancy in what temperature it should be, and it says, all right, your thermostat's bad, replace your thermostat. So I did that this past winter, probably about 5 months ago, and now all of a sudden we've been having this low oil pressure light come on and having kind of this little I guess you'd say maybe just a glitch that's been kind of it's been causing us headaches and cost us a good chunk of money too, because my wife wanted to try having it serviced and get taken care of there, and they couldn't figure it out, and now here I am and finally figured out what the problem is. So the oil pressure sending unit is down, kind of buried underneath there. And what they ended up discovering after they changed, I tried changing the sensor and it didn't go away. And then my wife's like, well, she wants to take it to the service place and she wants to let them try servicing it. They changed the sensor, and then they went to the ECU, which is over here, and cleaned out the connector. And they found what they said was water in the connector. And they cleaned it out, blew it out, and they said it should be fine. Well, about a week later, it starts dinging again and starts going off, the oil light. So she brings it back in, they blow the connector out again, said there's water in it, and they say you need to change. They wanted to change the plug right here, all like 60 wires or whatever's going into it. They want to unpin them and repin them all, which is ridiculous. And I'm like, all right, no, I want to take a look at this. So I bring it home, I'm poking around, I'm thinking maybe it's a ground issue, so I'm messing with the ground cables and trying to clean stuff up, and because it's obviously an electrical problem, a short or something. Well, then I unplug. At first I thought it was this connector, and I unplugged this one and kind of, I didn't see much, but then I actually unplugged this one. I found out this is the one, and I was looking in there and I'm like, that's not water, that's got an orange tint to it. And everybody knows that GM, if you know about GM vehicles, they use Dexacool, I believe. It's an orange colored coolant. And I'm like, that's not water, that's coolant. How is coolant getting into this? And then my brain goes, well, how the heck is coolant getting into this connector? And I know on the Volkswagen models, you can have problems with the jug here. They actually have a sensor on it, low oil. They actually have it's more of like a dish. It's round, it's a spheric shaped container. And they have a plug going into it with a sensor, and sometimes that can actually fail. The bottle itself will fail, it'll get a hole and it'll start pushing coolant up into the electrical connector and then down through the wires into the wiring harness. And that is exactly what has happened with this car, except it's not on the bottle. It's down here on the thermostat housing. That sensor right there, you can see the water, you can see the coolant sitting in it. This sensor, this whole thermostat housing I replaced this past winter, and you can obviously see that the sensor they used failed internally, and it pushed coolant out of the plastic into the connector. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera. Those two little slots right in the middle, that's where the connection is. It pushed them into those wires, because this is sealed on the outside here, and then on the back side the wires go through a gasket. This is completely sealed off. And as that system built pressure over the months, it's pushed it into the wires, down through the wiring harness, around and up and into the connector. And we started getting that short. The first problem that's shown up is that low oil pressure light. So something to watch out for on, I guess, any vehicle. If you're starting to have goofy electronic problems and you can find out that it's coming from coolant, is these sensors on these cooling systems can fail, and that pressurized system will push liquid into your wiring harness. Now, hopefully we don't have any more issues. Once I'm gonna blow everything off. I ordered a new sensor, clean everything up. Hopefully we don't have any more problems. Otherwise, I might have to replace these two wires in this harness here, because obviously it would have pushed its way through here into this bigger harness. There's two wires are running through and into this connector here in the middle. And we might have to unpin and repin those two wires and reconnect those if we start having issues in the future. But that's something to watch for, especially on the VW models. You'll have that one on the actual bottle itself. It's just a two-prong, just like that. It tells you if your coolant's low. I've actually never seen, but I've actually heard of those bottles failing and it doing the same thing, it pushing coolant through. So just something to watch out for. I'm happy I figured out what the problem is instead of throwing more money at the darn thing, and yeah, let the dealership replace the frickin' block. And what a joke. Well, yeah, okay, it was the dealership. That's where it was being serviced at. Go figure. I'm not a huge fan, but because I think a competent person with enough, obviously enough time and resources, you can do anything, but a competent person can, believe, do just as much as a dealership can. They were right. I mean, I would have agreed with them. Go after the sensor. That's what it seemed like the problem was. But when the tech opened up and he said that there was water in there, I don't understand how he didn't see that it's coolant. How he didn't see it's got an orange tint. You know, you're a technician. You should have caught that at any level of experience. Any technician that's working on stuff like this should have caught that. I don't know. That's just my thought. And of course, we get charged for it, but it is what it is. I found the problem. I know what it is. It's going to get fixed. It's going to be resolved. We won't have the issue anymore. So, something to watch for. Hopefully this helps somebody out there. Thanks. Bye.